We are raw and real mothers, sharing our struggles, triumphs, and everything in between.
We are all about being authentic and sharing who we are. None of us have it all together.
We know how hard motherhood is. We also know how joyful motherhood is.
We're here to grow with you. We're here to empower and support each other.
As we share our hearts, we become stronger. Our stories bring us together.
The MotherHeart is within every woman.
Hi, welcome to the MotherHeart podcast. We are recording on our first podcast here with Zoom because of the lovely coronavirus that's out. So we're excited to be here and to be able to talk with you today. Let's first start off by introducing everyone in our MotherHeart podcast group. I'm Janessa.
I'm Anna Maria.
I'm Kylie.
I'm Shirley.
I'm Tanya.
I'm Rachel.
So this is our group, 6 women. We've come together because we have felt, maybe like you have, where we've felt alone. We felt isolated. Sometimes, even when you're with a group of people, sometimes you feel alone. And as we got talking and we became friends, we realized that if we're all feeling this way, then maybe some of you also feel this way. And that's normal, but it shouldn't be. We have so many ways to connect, and it's important to connect. It's important to be able to share, especially from the heart. Sometimes we connect on such a superficial level that it really doesn't fulfill those needs of connection and love and friendship. So we're here.
I remember, Janessa, as a young mother, just feeling and wondering how do normal women connect with each other. I would watch women in circles or at the parks, and they're laughing and having a great time, and I'm like, how do they do that? I want to be part of that. And it's a process, and it's not easy all the time, but I believe as we come with our hearts open to each other, that it becomes easier to connect with who you are, and then you're able to connect with others.
Exactly. So yeah, I remember, and maybe it's because you've moved, or because you had a challenging time, and so you've kind of disconnected from some of the people around you, or maybe you just have never felt very supported. And so we are here to be that support for you, to be that connection, to be those loving friendship members that are part of your life, to be here to love you and help you. And hopefully you will also be able to find women just like us that nearby that you can connect with at home.
And we really hope that as you listen with us and join us, that you will be able to find hope and peace and inspiration and feel connected.
That's right. So maybe you're wondering how we got this all started. How long ago has it been, Anna Maria? A couple of years now?
2 years ago, we created this group. How did we do this, ladies?
Well, so some of us homeschool, and we had started a homeschool co-op. We'd started, Kylie right here, had started a homeschool co-op, and we had started getting together once a week. And we got started talking about just how that it's been a great thing to be able to get together, to be able to talk and connect, not only for the kids to have school, but also for us women. It was very wonderful to make those friends and have that friendship. Well, Anna Maria had been thinking at the same time, and correct me if I'm wrong, that she wanted to make some sort of video or something for that very reason, to help women just like us be able to connect and to heal and to share our hearts and to share our stories with one another.
I realized it was easy for all of us when we gathered together to just share our hearts and to share what was on our minds and what we were going through. We could be vulnerable with each other without judgment, and it was a safe place. So I just thought, wow, how this would help so many women if they could figure out how to connect with each other, share their stories, share their hearts. And I just thought it would raise the energy and the vibration of the world also.
I remember also a pivotal point when we were having a conversation was that we were talking about all of these ideas that we've just held in our hearts of helping women. And we just slowly realized that we all had similar visions and desires, and we kind of joined all of our visions together to make this happen.
We also all share a common belief in the Savior Jesus Christ, and believe that He is the healer. He is the one that heals us, that helps bring us together, that helps us open our hearts and to be inspired to know who to become friends with. And so that's also part of our hope, is that you will not only be able to connect with us and those around you, but also be able to connect with Him in a meaningful way.
I feel like He is the one that brought us together, and that it's His light that's inside of all of us that's leading us to want to lift each other. And when we first started meeting, I felt so uplifted, so like carried, and so inspired by all of you. It was a beautiful experience. I'm so grateful that we've continued to do this, because He's led us each step of the way, and that's why we're still here after 2 years. So I'm very grateful for all of you.
I remember, just going off of what you said, Rachel, some of us were complete strangers to each other. And it was such a powerful experience to be connecting with complete strangers and like immediately being able to share our hearts. And that's what we want to show you guys how to do.
Yeah, I think the thing that really connected us was being able to share our stories, being able to share the challenges that we'd been through, and to have a willing audience that was open to love and to accept without judgment. I think that was huge. And so we actually, when we got together, we started going around and we just say, hey, tell us your story. Tell us who you are, what challenges you've been through, and maybe the challenges you're going through right now. And we'll just listen and love you and hear.
That was pretty amazing how fast we were bonded through our hearts. And I think that brings us to the vision we have for this, is for women all over to have this experience. And our 4 pillars, or the things we're based on, are supporting each other, connecting with each other. And because of that support and connection, we can heal as individuals and as families, as a world even, and that will help us to thrive. And that's our goal, that's our vision, and our hope for all of us is to have that experience together.
Yeah.
So we really truly feel like coming together will create those things, to help those things happen.
Yeah, because as we come together, share our hearts, that's what happens, is that natural progression of support and connection, healing and thriving. And if we do that in our small circles, we would like to call these MotherHeart circles, and we'd like to form them everywhere. And as we do that, it will bring a unity, not only to us as mothers, but to the whole world as women. And we have so much. Women are so needed, so necessary and important.
I definitely feel a power behind women right now. I go places and I see women having the same inspiration to gather, to strengthen each other, to empower each other. And we're just happy to do this in our neck of the woods and be able to spread our love and our vision with others and inspire each other. So it's pretty powerful what's happening with women. We are super.
For me, when I first met most of you, I knew Anna Maria already, but I was pregnant, and it was a rough time for me. I had 4 little kids already at home and felt really super isolated and really afraid about having another baby, and I knew that I needed support. I knew that I needed other women who would care about me and be there for me. And Anna Maria introduced me to the rest of you, and instantly I felt that support. It was amazing. Um, it's been such a blessing to my life to connect with you, and I see that a lot of women go through what I went through. Maybe it's a different circumstance, maybe it's not a new baby, but we all have things that make us isolate and not able to connect very well with other people. And in the past, these connections just happen naturally. And like the story that everybody's probably heard about the women who would go to the river and wash their clothes out, and when they were there they would talk and they would visit and they would support each other, or the women who gather to have tea time every day. And we've lost that in a lot of ways, and with that loss we've lost the collective wisdom of women, and we want to find a way to bring back that collective wisdom so that together we can help each other, we can support each other, we can strengthen each other, and we can grow. And so the gift that I've been given, we want to give that to everybody, and help everybody to connect deeply in meaningful ways.
I just wanted to add that, yes, all 6 of us felt this emptiness, this void inside of ourselves. And because I feel like in our modern world, we didn't know how to identify what it was. So I feel like we've done a lot of reading, praying, studying, experimenting with one another on how to find this real meaningful connecting and how to fill that void within our souls. And I feel like we have learned some really interesting things that have really helped, and we would love to be able to share those things with each of you and help you to be able to find a way to find those people who will support you and fill that void that you probably have felt for a long time, and you just are maybe starting to awaken to that feeling. You've maybe tried to block out that feeling with busyness, or maybe things that have become addictive to you, but we love you and we want to help you find that wholeness within your heart with other women, and to feel nourished and loved and supported in your role as a mother, because it's such an important role. We believe that it's divinely mandated, and that God will help you in this process as you rely on Him and on our Savior to find those people who will support you and that you can support as well.
So one of the things that we have discovered, or what we realized just through experience and how to find that connection with other women and mothers, is to start small. Start with where you live. Look around you. Right now we're dealing with the coronavirus, COVID-19, and we're kind of locked in our homes. But there's social media platforms. There's Facebook. If you can connect through
Marco Polo.
Marco Polo. You can connect with us through Instagram if you're not sure where to start, or through our Facebook page, MotherHeart. And we'd love to chat with you. But start small, like Shirley was saying, pray, and allow God to help you in your efforts, and He will help you. He hears your prayers, and He knows your needs. So turn to Him.
I just think it would be really cool to share the way women have impacted our lives. I know we talked about that before, ladies, but I just feel really strongly that will bring a feeling of connection right now, is just to share how women have influenced us. And Tanya, I don't know if you're okay with this, but I would love to hear how that experience was for you when we first met and we did that angel photo together. I don't know if that's something you'd be willing to share.
So are you talking about the full story or just?
Well, whatever you want to feel
Yeah, I
comfortable
can
sharing,
do.
but I feel like that really captures the essence. Yeah.
Okay, so when I was pregnant with my last baby, it was an unexpected pregnancy that we were using protective measures, and I still got pregnant. And I'm 40, I was 45 at the time, so it was a pretty big surprise and a hard adjustment. And also, my mother passed away several years before that. And one day I was returning from a prenatal appointment, and um, my the cemetery where my mom is buried happened to just be on the drive from there to my house. And so I stopped there at the cemetery. I don't always stop there, but that day I just felt so alone and afraid and overwhelmed. And I stopped there and just went to my mother's grave and was crying. How am I going to do this alone? How am I going to do this without a mom? I don't have anybody. And instantly I felt my mom's presence right there with me. And not just her, but I felt her mother and her mother and her mother, until there was this sea. I could feel them so strongly around me, this sea of women. And I felt like they were just supporting me, putting their hands on me and uplifting me and letting me know, you're not alone. You are not in this alone. You have a whole army of women helping you. And that, I stopped crying. I felt hope and peace and lightness. And I went home and thought about that a lot, and knew that I needed some way to capture that so that I could remember it, because I knew it would dim over time, and I wanted it to stay fresh and strong. And I wanted to always remember that I'm not alone. I have a sea of women who have done mothering, who have been through this. And so I was thinking maybe an artist could paint it for me. And so I talked to a couple of people. My daughter-in-law is an amazing artist, and she said, well, I need a reference picture to go off of. So I was like, how could I get that? Well, maybe a picture would be even better. And as I was thinking that, Anna Maria just happened to come over to my house. And I'd already kind of thought of her because she's a photographer and she does amazing work. And so I told her this story, and I was like, do you think you could capture something like that? And she's like, yeah, for sure. And so we talked about it. And she's like, and I've got all these friends that will come, because I'm like, who would I ask to? I'm an introvert, so I have a few close friends, and that's it. I don't have an army of women to come do this picture with me. And she's like, well, I have all these friends. I know they'd come. And I was like, well, they don't even know me. Are you sure they would come? And she was like, yeah, they will. They would love to. And so she set it up, and we went to the cemetery where my mom was buried. I wanted to have it there because that was where it happened, and it was a special place for me. And they all showed up and came and put on white dresses and stood around me in a circle. And we took a bunch of different poses, and it was so powerful because Anna Maria was saying the whole time, okay, shoot your love at her. And I could feel it. It was an incredible, powerful, empowering experience to feel surrounded, not this time, not with angels that I couldn't see, but with angels that were physical in their bodies in this world, touching me and smiling at me and just showering me with love and encouragement through their spirits. And we got some amazing pictures of that, and I hung it on my wall. And I remember I gave one to my midwife, and she loved it. She was like, oh, this is exactly what I want every woman to feel. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want every woman to feel too. And she said, these women in this picture are going to become your angels. And this was like the next week I showed it to her. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I just met them. I don't know if they'll be my angels, but they have been. She was prophetic in what she said, because we've become really close, and they were there for me when my baby was born, and they were there for me when I went through postpartum depression, and they were people that I could talk to. And I have the picture of them in my room, and for the first year and a half of my baby's life, I could just look at that and go, I am not alone. I have support. And it would pull me out of my deep depression that I sometimes would feel.
Yeah, and as I was taking the pictures, it was just incredible to me that the heavens opened with beautiful sunlight streaming down across the whole valley. And that just felt to me like Heavenly Father was saying, I see you, I hear you, what you are doing is vital and necessary. And yeah, it was a feeling of pure love that entered my heart for Tanya and for all of the women there. And I just realized, like, our missions are so vital to his plan. We need to lead with our hearts.
Thank you. I will feel honored being part of that experience too, Tanya. And so the listeners know, all of us in this MotherHeart podcast were in that photo. And that was a strong bonding moment for us. I feel like that we really started to come together as a group and have our hearts more connected through that photo. So that was a beautiful experience.
Yeah, and I think in that we all felt the power of women. We all felt the power of connection and the power that comes when women care about each other and support each other and are there for each other. It was almost, you could almost feel the power. It was so strong.
It was strange because I didn't know several of you, and I felt immediately I felt this connection and love for you as we were joining together in this beautiful cause. We got to share that picture with. Are you guys okay if we share that with them? One of the images. I think they need to see it. Maybe we can post it on social media, on Instagram or Facebook. But I think you guys need to see that picture because it kind of says it all. And
yeah, I know. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I just want to add in that this was such an incredible experience that we actually did it again for Janessa later because it was just so inspiring to us. And so that was a really neat opportunity to be able to do that for Janessa when she was expecting.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I felt the same thing, Tanya. I felt like, wow, look at this amazing group of women that is surrounding me, supporting me, loving me. And so, yeah, that was a special experience for me as well. In fact, I had a similar experience like that where before I got married, I was dating a guy. I didn't know if it was going to go anywhere or if it shouldn't go anywhere, and I was really struggling to try and figure out, what I did in that situation. And I felt a lot of, pushback from my family and everybody had their opinions of whether we should stay together and get married or break it off. And anyway, and I felt the same thing. I felt one day I was just feeling really alone and depressed, and I had this feeling like I was surrounded by my ancestors and they were there supporting me and loving me and saying, you're not alone, we're here, we're orchestrating things for you, we're helping make sure that you're in the right spot at the right time so that the right thing is going to happen and you're going to have an amazing life. And so in order to be able to get that picture captured so much later and to be reminded of that experience was really awesome, because I ended up breaking up with that guy and marrying an amazing man, and now have 4 children and have a wonderful support group. And so it's fun to see, the difference of, how I felt back then, and now I have so many wonderful things in my life because of all the angels that have surrounded me throughout it. So
I agree. I was one of the participants in the picture, and I didn't know Tanya either, and I instantly felt drawn to her, and there was a part of my soul that was healing by being a part of that experience. And I had my own spiritual experience afterwards, feeling like this was a really important, the people that I was with at that time in the picture were important and would be an important part of my life moving forward. And yes, I've definitely felt that way.
I just want to put a plug in there. Sometimes it can feel scary being vulnerable and trying to reach out, being your authentic self, being willing to share your story with someone. And we don't necessarily want you to go and share your story with everyone out there. We want you to share your story with someone who will listen and who will care and who you can trust. But I want to emphasize, don't be afraid. Don't have fear. Have faith. Be willing to open up and trust in the process. And you will have beautiful things occur as a result.
Right. And make it a matter of prayer and intention, and let, God and angels help guide you to find those people that are like-minded, who are seeking the same thing, because you're not alone. Like, all of us were feeling very isolated and alone, but we started seeking and reaching, and we found one another. And that was not by happenstance or coincidence. It was meant to be. And we all need that. We all deserve that. Heavenly Father loves all of his children, and we all deserve to have that kind of love, support, and connection in our lives, especially as we are doing his work as women and mothers, as nurturers of the world.
And I think especially too, we need to make sure we're also opening our hearts to our spouses and to our children. Be able to be open to them and to our family members if they are willing to listen, I guess. I remember talking to a friend in the past, and she had dated this guy, and he was always trying to like pull things out of her, like, just tell me what you're thinking, tell me how you're feeling, tell me. And she's like, I don't know why, I don't feel like I can open up to him. But she had this best friend that she felt like she could tell anything to. They were both guys. And she was like, I don't know what the difference is. And, the image that came to my mind was, we each have like a little treasure chest that is our heart. And we keep all of our hopes, our fears, our likes and dislikes, all of our feelings. They're tender and they're precious to us. Even those dark, scary thoughts and feelings that we have, and we keep those in our treasure chest in our hearts. And people can't force us. In fact, the more somebody tries to pry open your heart, the less you want to do it, right? You clam up. But at the same time, we can't lock that treasure chest. We can't lock it, because that's what makes us feel isolated and alone. But if we take one little nugget out, just a small little one, and we meet somebody that we think, well, maybe I could connect with this person, maybe I can share a little bit, then share that one little story, share that one little feeling or that thought or whatever. Be courageous and share it with that person and see how they treat it. And if they treat it as well or better than you do, then maybe you can continue to share more of those precious jewels in your treasure chest. And if they don't treasure that, if they don't treat you well, then don't, then say, okay, I know that I can be kind to you, you can be kind to me, and we'll just leave it at that. Maybe you try again later, I don't know. But find those people that you feel comfortable sharing that with, and be courageous then, and allow yourself to share it, and then just watch and see if they're open to it. So I felt like that was a really good imagery for me anyway.
Sorry, because the things in our hearts are treasures, are precious to us, and we don't want to just toss them to anybody. We need to be careful and have boundaries, and we need to surround ourselves with people who uplift us and inspire us and don't bring us down. So I love what you were saying, Janessa.
Thank you.
I'm just grateful that Heavenly Father and this reached me through all of you. And I feel like all of us, even those that aren't in our little tribe here, all the rest of you that are listening, you're not alone. We're here for you, and we're excited to create avenues to connect even deeper and to help you in this process. So we're excited to do that.
And we want to hear your stories. We want to hear your voices, your hearts. We want to see your faces. We want to see women connect heart to heart, voice to voice, face to face. Because through connection is where we will come to know who we are as women and as mothers and as daughters of God. So,
Yes, and that is our mission. Our mission is to help guide you in this process of connecting with each other, to find your own circle of support, and to share your stories and your knowledge, your experiences, and to feel God's love through them, and to empower one another to turn towards our Savior more in our lives.
Thank you, everyone. I feel like we could round it up, but if anyone else has anything they want to share.
Well, thank you guys for listening, and thanks, ladies, for joining in to make this happen.
and we believe in you.
We hope that you have found something that one of us has shared to be inspirational today, and that you can take that home with you and find hope, encouragement, and peace as you reflect upon you and your life and your mission and your purpose as a mother and a woman.
And look us up. We're on all the podcast platforms, and you can look up MotherHeart and add us to your subscriptions.
And as we move forward with our podcast, we will continue to share insightful information that hopefully will be helpful for you as you find your MotherHeart circle.
Thank you.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining our MotherHeart Circle. Please send us your thoughts, inspiration, experiences, and stories. Your voice is important. Your wisdom and your hearts are needed. We believe in you, we love you, and thank you for being you.